It's Creepy Quickies. Let's read. I'm worried I showed my children a movie that I shouldn't have. By ForgottenWell from our Short Scary Stories. My favorite family tradition is movie night. Every Friday at 7 o'clock sharp, I make a big bowl of popcorn, sit down on the couch with one twin on either side of me, and put on a flick. Usually we watch whatever Oliver and Olivia want to watch, which for the past 3 months has been the Despicable Me movies, in order, one after the other. Now I like Steve Carell as much as the next person, but if I have to hear "he's so fluffy" one more time, I worry I might actually lose it. So for movie night this week, I suggested we watch something Mommy wanted to watch. My darling twins didn't even argue. They're impeccably polite for only being 8. This is where I might have made a mistake. I decided to put on a movie that I remember watching when I was their age. I showed them The Witches, a lovely little film I used to watch on VHS at my grandparents' farm. It didn't go well. There were a couple scenes that were much scarier than I remember, especially the scenes with the Grand High Witch. I thought it would be fine, but both of them have had nightmares since watching the movie. I figured they would move on after a couple of weeks of watching Despicable Me, but unfortunately, The Witches made a lasting impression. I checked the search history on the iPad they share, and I was worried by what I saw. How to tell if someone is a witch, how to keep away witches, how to kill a witch. When I asked them if they knew witches weren't real, they just smiled and said, "We know, Mommy, but I worry they're not being truthful with me." For the most part, they simply refused to talk about it. I decided it was probably best to keep a close eye on them, but not bring up the topic of witches anymore unless they brought it up first. I thought things were getting better with them, until one movie night after watching Despicable Me 4. I tucked them in like usual, but shortly after falling asleep, I woke to a scream. It was Olivia. I thought it was probably just a nightmare again, but then I heard Olivia scream again. "Mom, help!" Now I started to panic. I rushed down the hallway to their bedroom and saw the door was wide open. I tried to run in, but something smashed into my head when I did. I thought at first that one of them had slammed the door in my face, but when I gathered my senses, I could see that the door was still wide open. Oliver and Olivia were both awake, standing there and staring at me with a look of terror in their eyes. "Oh, clever girl," I said, looking down at the thick line of coarse salt they had poured across their doorway. "I should have never shown you that movie."